I'll be grateful.
I have such a small head.
You're live, by the way.
I'm live. My hat's not ready.
Okay, but you got ready. You still got a few minutes to get people in.
And now you know that Josh has a small head.
That's right.
It's true. You're like, why do you always wear the same? I was like, they're the only hats that fit my head.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. All right. So, everybody getting Thanksgiving ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
I kind of heard what you guys are doing, but are you guys turkey people?
I love turkey
Like,
and ham. I love it all.
It's food.
That's
It's
right.
food. Yeah.
Basically.
Well, we're gonna have my dad over, and he makes a really good ham, which I love. But I was like, I don't love turkey, but I love leftover turkey sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
So I'm gonna attempt, fingers crossed, to go and just but like a small turkey, just enough to where we can, if we want to have it that day of, sure. But really, I can cut it up with some cranberry, cold, have sand.
My favorite sandwich ever. And and I saw in the store the other day, I almost bought one and I didn't, I should have, but I saw really small turkeys, which I've never seen before.
My question is, are they still there?
Small.
Yeah.
Huh.
Probably not, because there's a lot of
I might
people
just get
just
turkey
cooking.
breast.
I don't understand the turkey breast thing.
Maria says good morning.
All right, we got
Good morning,
Sam.
Maria.
Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Maria. It says two other people, so I don't know who you are, but good morning, Marilyn. Good morning. Woo! Okay, what do we got going on today?
Got a lot of stuff here.
I know. Well, first of all, happy almost Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are going to spend time with family, friends, or whatever, however you like to spend. Some people want to be by themselves. As long as you're happy, awesome.
And for those of you who are experiencing that first empty nest Thanksgiving, it'll be okay.
We're here for you.
We're here for you. That's right. That's a hard one to experience, but it'll be all right.
I've heard that's I get it. It's a real thing. Casper's 5.
It'll be a while before.
There's some days where, like yesterday, he was being a little fun. We were having, a little challenging. But I was like, just some time alone. But I can't imagine after 18 years, it's got to be brutal. So
it is hard.
Yeah,
it is very hard.
My wife says wherever he goes to college is where we're moving. So.
Oh.
Well, she's like, we're gonna follow him wherever he goes. I'm like, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Cut the cord.
Cut the cord. Yes.
We'll just open up a second quilt shop somewhere. Who knows?
No,
she swears she's going to Harvard, though. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I tell you what happens is somewhere between 14 and 18, they become totally obnoxious. So when they hit 18 and they're ready to go to college, you are ready to push them out.
That's right.
Don't let the door hit you.
That's right.
Good morning, Deanna. Good morning. New to the live show. Let's see what I've got to read. New to the live show, but have been watching recordings a few months. I get what you're saying. Well, welcome. Glad you made it.
Glad you're here.
Denise, where are you at? Where are you located at? Have you been watching locally? I'm so bad with names, so forgive me, and especially last names. Like, because we have a handful of Barbaras, a handful of Joanns. So last names, I'm always like, do I know you? So forgive me if.
She's in Palm Coast.
Oh, Palm Coast. All right.
So
well,
are
fantastic.
You a teacher and you're off this week, and that's why you get to watch live?
That's probably what it is. If not, that's all right. Welcome. And it's awesome that you're going back and rewatching it. So this is a good segue. We would appreciate it greatly if you hit the little hearts down below, the likes, and share with your friends, because that will just basically tell the Facebook people, hey, something's going on, and we'll get more people engaging with us. And it's super important. I mean, we're doing this because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if you guys weren't watching, we'd still probably be sitting here talking to ourselves. But it is so much more fun with engagement and saying good morning to all of you. So like, share, yada, yada, yada. We appreciate it. Let's see. Love Monday morning with you, Nancy. We love Monday morning with you.
Glad you're here.
Linda, all sorts of people. Well, everybody must be off. That's fantastic. So we got a lot going on. Let's just jump in. Let's start with the giveaways, huh? What's that, Tony?
There's always a lot going on.
I know there is always a lot going on, but
it's exhausting.
It's the season. Live in my head for a couple. Like trying to go to sleep is so difficult for me. Trying to turn my brain off. Oh my gosh. I literally have to just I know it's bad. I think we talked about it. Maybe it wasn't you. I have to put something on my phone as I'm laying in bed just to watch to stop the
To stop.
spinning wheels.
yeah. And I've heard that's really bad to watch
Mhm.
something right before you go to sleep. But I don't know.
But
I don't know what
that's
to
an
do.
interesting thought when you because I had that same problem last night. I could not stop thinking about something, and I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it and going over the same thing over and over. And maybe that would have helped to just
Put on a little something. You
Divert.
don't. I find I don't have to watch it long. It's just, and it could be something mindless.
Mhm.
Just something to distract my brain.
mhm.
Like, follow me.
I do watch a lot of scary movies, but some like honestly, guilty pleasure, like reality
Oh,
TV competition shows. Like I love cooking shows.
oh, fun.
I'm not a good cook, but I'm like I just love that competition. So anyway, way off. Anyway. It is the season of giving. So back on topic. So we've talked about this a bazillion times, and we're going to keep talking about it. All you have to do is come into the store to take advantage of this. All right, this little QR code right there. You got to come into the shop, you scan it, and you are entered to win not one, but 2 Janome sewing machines. And you have your choice of a handful of them. What I love about this is that they're doing 2 of them. The idea is you get one and then you give one. Season of giving. So come in and take advantage. There's 400 plus dealers, but our very own Sam won the last time we did this. So I think you got a good shot. That's all I'm saying.
And that's such a wonderful idea to have 2 to be able to give one away. And
It's awesome.
it is.
It's really cool. And I've a lot of you come into classes, come into shop in pairs,
Mhm.
and there's a little bit of friendly competition there.
Mhm.
So what if you're both even the playing field? You got the same machine. Okay. Also, so Janome giveaway, whoop, that goes till December the 9th. Baby lock, and I don't have a nice pretty thing for it. My apologies, but I'm going to do a post just on this because I have all of this product in the store. And I'm going to read this so I don't mess it up. But from now until December the 8th, you can come into, it says visit your local retailer. Forget all that. Visit Cut Up and Sew. That is your
That's
local
us.
retailer. That's right. That is us. In case you didn't know, Cut Up and Sew. There's the logo there.
Yeah.
Come in and demo one of the new Baby Lock machines, and you get a chance to win the Koala cabinet, which is, it's a whole studio setup. It's phenomenal. The Koala chair, your Baby Lock machine, it's up to $6,000. So you could pick the machine that you want. There's a lot of machines within that price point. And I know this is crazy, but a Riccar vacuum cleaner. The greatest, and remember, I'm a vac guy. I started in the vac world, so I know what I'm talking about. The greatest vacuum cleaner on the planet. I actually have one in the back. Yeah, we tried to sell these vacuums here, but truthfully, in Florida, different demographic, different types of floors. Weight is, you don't really necessarily need this type of machine. Also, it's $1,300, and people go, "I'm not spending $1,300 on a vacuum." It's different too. The mentality in Florida, it's like, nah. In Louisville, it was 2 floors, sometimes 3 floors, but wall to wall carpet. You're like, I need this kind of vacuum.
Right.
But if it's free, then you've got the greatest
That's
vacuum on
right.
the planet for free. So what I love about this is it is literally a whole studio setup. I mean, this is awesome. So all you have to do is come in and see us, sit down and demonstrate. Let us demonstrate, and you will get hands-on. That's the point. One of the new Baby Locks. So 2 giveaways going on till December the 8th and December the 9th, which is awesome. I'm excited about that.
Lewis has such cool stuff.
Yeah, there's always, this industry is insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome, like in the best sense, but there's just always so much coming at you.
Exactly.
So what you got to do is find what excites me, or, you got to kind of pick and choose. Same thing, like fabric. Whew, it's getting more and more daunting because there's so much gorgeous fabric. It is so hard to pick.
It is.
Because we can't carry all of it. If I win the lottery, maybe. But
get a bigger store.
well, there's that too. Literally, we have no more space.
That's right.
But and you just can't carry everything. So anyway, all right. So giveaways, whoop whoop, come in and do that. Thanksgiving hours, we're closed Wednesday and Thursday this week, and that's it. Other than that, we're on normal hours. on Friday, it is Black Friday, officially Black Friday, but we've been doing our Black Friday sale for a month. So you can come on in today, tomorrow, or Friday, or Saturday, technically, to take advantage of all those Black Friday sales, which is Baby Lock Janome machines up to 50% off, Quilt up to 40% off. Chairs, I can't tell you how much, but the cheapest we've ever been able to sell them. Kiwi storage cabinets, same thing. And then all the cabinets are on sale. Now on Friday, since it's Black Friday, we were talking about this, Tony. Are we going to do something special? Probably. You know me. So we'll probably have some sort of sale, but the big thing is Saturday. So Small Business Saturday. You support local as much as possible, right? I think people, well, especially in Palm Coast and hopefully everywhere, like to support local if it makes sense. I get it. Sometimes it's a little bit more expensive. Right. Sometimes there's a convenience fee, and honestly, it's hard to compete against buy now. But when you want to touch it, feel it, and when local shops like Cut Up and Sew price match, we try to make that easier for you. So support local businesses year round. But Saturday is Small Business Saturday. So we are doing our first annual progressive sale. Yeah.
What is that?
What is that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Thank you for asking. So we're opening an hour early.
Okay.
So at 9 a.m., come on in. Doors are open from 9 to 10. It's 30% off everything in the store. From 10 to 11, it's 25%. From 11 to 12, it's 20. And then from 12 and on, it's 15. So
you early birds are the ones who are going to really benefit.
Now, here's the beauty of it. It could get super crazy. And you know, we have 2 registers and only so many people. So if you come in between 9 and 10, you'll get your little color ticket that will show us or tell us that you're going to get 30% off for the rest of the day, mind you. So you could then, if it's too crazy, leave, go get breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah, do whatever you want. If you've got an appointment, that's fine. But come back in before we close and you can still use that 30% off ticket.
That's awesome.
I love it. This was Tony's brainchild. I guess maybe you had done that in the past. I love it. We'll see how crazy it is. Hopefully, you know, I can't remember last year if people go out of town for Thanksgiving down here in Palm Coast. And in my mind, I'm like, no, family should come here. Don't go north. It's freezing.
That's right.
So hopefully you're all here. Bring the family, bring the kids, the friends, whatever, and let's have a fun day on Saturday.
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Good job.
That's going to be awesome, and that's this Saturday. Tony, let me know if I'm missing anything.
There's lots of people.
Hi, I remembered. Hey, awesome.
Janice is on.
Janice, Linda, Kenda, Jackie, Betsy. I finally made it. Janice, yes, you did. Tris, Linda. Oh, this is fantastic. Deb. I probably missed a few people, but welcome everybody. This is awesome. Giveaways, check. Small Business Saturday, progressive sale, opening an hour early. I'm saying it slowly so you can remember. Check. What else is on my list? Well, I'll mention 2 things, and then I'm going to get into what all this is, and we're going to let Joann do her thing. Java with Josh is coming back. So we did this a couple of times. I don't know if you've ever been to one. So before Shannon and I bought the store, they called it Cut Up and Show, I think is what they called it. And great idea. And the idea is that people come in, it's a whole show and tell. Everybody shows what they've been working on. Just a, community sort of gathering, a social, but then you get to see some of the new products that we're bringing in. And anyway, I love that concept. I love the idea of, sneak peeks at here's what's coming at Cut Up and Sew. You get first dibs, you get some sales and stuff like that. But what for me, and the reason I love Java with Josh is it gives me a chance to ask you what you like. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What are we missing? Like, what are we like? You know what I mean? How can we improve? Because I love constructive criticism. And when it's in the setting where I'm not being called away, like this is what I'm here to do, it really gives me a chance to listen and not be distracted. And hopefully everybody comes and we can all.
So when's that going to be?
Oh, yeah. December the 9th. I should have started with that.
And what day is that?
Saturday.
Thank you.
So we're going to, originally we're going to try to do it I think monthly, and it was like, just, it's not possible. Then quarterly, and then that didn't work. And so bear with us, but we do want to start doing this as often as possible, but we've got a lot of things planned for next year. I mean, we're still doing the sewing for charity every other month. We're going to have events every month in between those. So it's going to be tricky, but we want to end 2023 strong. So we figured Java with Josh on December the 9th. Let's powwow, have some fun. And we want to see what you guys are making or working on. But then on December the 30th, almost literally the end of the year, we've got our class reunion, which is something similar to what we've talked about before. If you have taken a class at Cut Up and Sew, if you've been to an event, if you've just bought fabric here and made something with it, we want you to bring it in and let's have a huge show and tell of all the things that have been made this year at Cut Up and Sew.
How fun is that?
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
And if something, you know, you should be proud that you've completed things 100%. But if you're like stuck on something and you just want that, you need some help, bring that in, right? There'll be plenty of people here to help you. So I love that idea. Also, I just want to celebrate this year because it's been insane. Like, it's been so much better than I could possibly have imagined. Yeah. So, and I want to say thank you, you know, honestly. So, and it's going to be fun. So that's December the 30th.
Okay.
All right. Presents.
Presents.
Who doesn't like presents? So we've been trying to put together last minute gift ideas. Some people come in and they don't know what to buy, or, you know, maybe they don't have a lot of time. So we've also put together baskets. You don't have to wrap it. You don't have to do anything.
You don't even have to make it.
You don't, exactly. It's right there. And we've got a handful of them. We only brought a couple over. I assume the camera can see that, all right?
Yeah, perfect.
I just love this idea, a grab and go gift. And so the whole thing with the gift ideas, and Tony and I are going to attempt to go live on Wednesday. I know we're closed, but so that we can really showcase some of the actual items, because there's a bunch of them that we have. But the point was, we're trying to go, you know, $50-ish and under, you know, quick grab and goes, maybe a $5 thing, a stocking stuffer, you know. But I just wanted to highlight some of the things that we love. So this grab and go, easy gift, love it. Obviously, gift cards are a safe bet. Sometimes it's not as much fun. It's in a card, and you know, something you just want to kind of.
And there's an enormous amount of people who get those gift cards and never use them. So
They forget.
yeah, so it's, you know, a little gift is probably a great idea.
That's true. Hey, Pat Verhagen. No, you rock. You aren't you on vacation in a pool somewhere? Well, enjoy. That's awesome. Look at that. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Wendy. All right. So I love the pre-wrapped gift ideas. That's great. We have started to get, well, we just got these in, and this Tim Holtz. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to see it because it's wrapped. I'll let you kind of fan through it. But what we've been trying to do is create little bundles that aren't, the problem that with quilt kits a lot of times is they get real expensive. You know, and you're like, I love this, $180, you know, it can be a little overwhelming and stuff. So, well, we love these Villa Rosa patterns. We've got a bazillion of them. In fact, we were just talking about how to display them better so you guys can see them. But so this actually they paired, because this is the sample, which is great. But we've started to get a lot of these in, smaller price point, easy. You grab it, you go home, you make it. Everything's picked out for you. All you have to do is sew. But then we started, well, I should say Tony created some of our fabric and made our kits and packaged it with the pattern. So this is a Christmas bundle. So if you wanted to do something Christmas flavored, this is awesome. Maybe you don't want to do Christmas. Maybe you want to do Alice in Wonderland, which I love this line. Alice in Wonderland, all pre-packaged with the pattern right there. All you got to do is get some thread and sew.
And a machine.
And a machine. And we can help you with all of that if you don't have it.
Everything.
I have a feeling that most of the people that are watching us have both of those. But maybe you want to upgrade, you know what I mean? So Black Friday, now's the time. So I love that we're kind of getting some smaller quilt kits, sewing kits packaged, because people want that. They always, in shop hops, they are crazy. Quilt shows, people love them, but we really don't have them that often year round. We're trying to really change that.
Yeah.
We're listening. You guys have asked for that sort of stuff, so we are listening. And if they don't sell during Christmas, which I can't imagine they won't, we'll just change the wrapping. Let's see, Joann. One of the things that we cannot keep in stock.
Yeah.
Well, we just got, I think we only got 6 of them, but whew, does it show up good?
Mm-hmm.
The Perfect Vision, right? Perfect Vision magnifying lamp. Now, here's the thing. People are always like, magnifying glass, they never really work. This thing's incredible, right? What do you think, Joann?
Wow. See,
So here's the magnifying glass, the magnifying lens, that part of it's great. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't use this for the magnifier. I would use it strictly for the light because it's incredible. And you have, obviously you can dim it. I think there's 5 different brightnesses. And then you can change the, what do you call that?
That's warm and cool.
Warm, cool, light, daylight, whatever. I don't know. I'm just rotating now. I'm lost. I don't know. There's 3 of them. Thank you, Tony. So I love these. They're back in stock for those of you that were asking. I know a couple of you already pre-ordered one, so we have called you, so no worries. But we do have a few, and honestly, it would make a great gift if you've already got one and you were looking for something for someone else.
And they clamp on the table.
on the side. So I have to ask the question
So
because
it's a clamp.
I'm not
Yep,
this
yep.
smart.
You're so smart.
The warm and cool. When would you use the different?
Depends on the color of the fabric.
Okay.
That's when I would use it. And if you're seeing in sunlight or it's bright through your house, but it's still dark where you're working at, I would change the light then.
Yeah,
You'll find it.
if you're fighting, like actually, so people all the time say in the classroom, why don't you open the shades and let more light in? Well, then you're actually fighting against the LED lights, and it makes it it doesn't work. So same concept. If you're sewing in a window, which would be gorgeous, you're out looking,
Right.
Different lighting would show up differently.
Okay, and
So
so
I
this,
love these.
This is plugged into.
Well, so I just have it plugged into a little power bank, but it's I'll just unplug it, just a USB. So you can plug it into your machine because a lot of machines have USBs. In fact, that's how we have it on the floor. But also, every time you get a new phone or anything that's electric, you get the little cube. Well, you've got 10 of them, so now you've got something to use it with. So yeah, I tell you, I've got so many of those, and I'm like, why do I keep them for things like this? Well, that's exactly right. So tell me if I'm missing anything, Tony. If anybody asks anything,
She's still on vacation. She wants 1, maybe 2 of those.
I want 1, maybe 2. All right, you got it. Good morning, Christy. So I love this. They're back in stock. I love, and we've got a lot of other gift ideas, of course. Look at this little guy. Let's go me. Is that not great? So AccuQuilt is all on sale. The cutters are definitely on sale as well. A lot of people see the cutters, and we've been getting a lot of new sewers, new quilters, and which is awesome. And they've gone, I've seen a little bit about AccuQuilt. I don't really get it. And then they start going, ooh, and they pick up the electric and they're thinking about taking it to friends' house. It's heavy.
It's heavy.
That's why this exists. This is the smallest one. You can do a handful, quite a few of the dies. In fact, a lot of the dies.
And the cube will work perfectly in this.
All the cubes, absolutely. Well, not the big cube, but the 8-inch cube, which is the #1 seller across the board. Right. Absolutely. And so I encourage you to come in and play with the AccuQuilt if you haven't. If you've seen it, you're curious about it, but you just don't know, maybe is it worth the money? Because it's not it's an investment. I mean, to be fair, all those dies and everything, but I tell you, it is a game changer for your quilting. I mean, the preciseness of the cuts, the 6 layers. I mean, it's a genius product, and we fully support it. In fact, we're one of the only shops in Florida, possibly, I don't even know about the rest of the country now, that sell it and promote it this much.
And one of the things I really like about the AccuQuilt now is that on top of all the great little cutesy, the great little, you can buy a die that will cut your whole quilt, you know, if you're doing a certain type of quilt. But now they have the cubes, and the cubes are just mainly shapes. So if you're going to make a quilt where you want to make a whole bunch of half square triangles, it will have the exact size and shape that you want to do that with. So you're not cutting all those. And I really like the cubes because it is more transferable to just whatever you're doing, as opposed to making a certain quilt or a certain shape. So and this is perfect for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's small, it's lightweight. I mean, it's easy just to pack it up and carry it around. So we have a few of these in stock. If I run out, have no fear. I will happily order you one. Yeah, exactly. And we have, and we're going to talk way more about this a little bit later, but we're starting an AccuQuilt Club. Second Saturday of every month. Team AccuQuilt. Whoop, whoop. Because people have them. Those that on the other side, they've had them forever, but they just don't use them. Well, we're going to get you inspired. We're going to give you a reason to use them. And, again, doing that group setting, club mentality, you know, it'll just, it'll get people excited again, hopefully. So, all right. So all sorts of fun stuff. Christmas is coming. Thanksgiving's first, of course. What's that?
The goose is getting fat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's pretty much everything that we have going on for today. Tomorrow, who knows?
Could change.
But yeah.
That's why you're on more than once a week.
That's right. Okay. And I'm done talking. So the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you.
Is this in your way? Should we move this?
Yeah.
Actually, you can just lift it up. There you go.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you out there are decided to look at what you needed to get for Christmas this weekend, and then you thought, oh gee, I really want to make this person a quilt, and you realized it's 5 weeks till Christmas. Amber, who teaches here also, brought me this quilt, and I love it, and it is a great little quilt, and we're just going to show half of it. So you can make this as big or as small as you want. It's made, you can use a charm pack. You can cut your own 5-inch squares. You can use your AccuQuilt to cut 5-inch squares. And that's all it is. So Amber took 3 charm packs, and you cut about, depending upon how many rows you have, you're going to cut that many of your 5-inch squares in half. And then you just line them up. You just sew them. And so you have every other row will start with a half a block, and then you sew it down, and then the full block on the next row. And that offsets everything so that it makes it so that you're not not having to match any seams or being really careful with pressing or anything. You just sew all your blocks together, and then you sew your rows together, and you have a quilt. And this goes really quickly, especially if you have the charm pack. But if you can cut your own fabric if you want. Say you go into your fabric stash and you've got a whole bunch of blues or blacks or whatever. You can do a monochromatic one. You could go into your stash of leftovers and cut those up into 5-inch squares. And in reality, you can use whatever size square you want. You don't have to use a 5-inch square. You could use a 6-inch or a 3-inch or whatever.
You could use that AccuQuilt to cut you a bunch of squares.
That's right. So,
and I love that she uses these really rich batiks. And we just, FYI, we don't have all of these here. This is probably something she's been collecting, but we just got in some really nice new batiks that would look awesome.
Yes.
Because these are really high contrast. You've got the lights. So she nailed it. Amber, awesome job. But if you were wanting to make it look this, because batiks are very rich, we do have some that would look nice. But I do love these.
So, yes, so that's a beautiful quilt. So you could take a layer cake if you had a layer cake at home, or you could come here and buy one. This is a Tula Pink layer cake, and just cut this into 4 5-inch squares. Or like I said, you could cut your own fabric. So anyway, I brought my board. So I have my 5-inch squares. And so you start
Can I hold it up for you?
Oh, that'd be awesome. So you start with the small on the top, and then just line them up. And you can lay this out if you want, or if you're one of those brave people that just likes to pick up fabric and sew it together, you can do that too. So you're just going to put all your squares together. And my squares were really pretty monochromatic. There weren't a whole lot of darks and lights, but that's okay. So you do this for one row, and then your next row starts out with a large one, and you just work your way down. And you just pick out your colors and decide what you like and put them together. And then on your second row, you're going to end up with a small one on the bottom. Okay. So now I know there's somebody out there thinking, well, that looks like a good idea, but I don't like all those fabrics right up against each other. That they just sort of blend in, and I don't like that. So if you happen to think that way, you can still do a very simple quilt that is pretty much the same thing, but so what I've done here is I've taken a narrow strip of background. Sorry.
No, I'll let you put it on there and then I'll hold it up.
A narrow strip of background and sewed it onto the 5-inch squares. And you just put them together with the.
Oh, you've just attached these already?
Yes. So they're just put together like this. Pretty much the same way as you did before, except for now you have a white strip on the top. And then once you get your rows together, you put another white strip. And personally, I like it fairly thin. I want the blocks to kind of stand out, but I don't want to be, I don't want a lot of emphasis on that background strip. So then you just sew these together. And now you have a little bit of a space between each one. And that was pretty easily accomplished.
Well, I assume if you're super OCD and you have to have everything, which I'm surprised that, I'm not saying you're OCD, but you're very kind of methodical. I'm surprised you're not lining these up unless your intention is to have them.
The intention is to have them offset. So that once again, if you had to line up all of these, you'd be spending a lot of time, or I would be spending a lot of time pinning those seams together to make sure that they came together just right.
Right.
But what we want is a quilt that you can finish and get quilted by Christmas. And so we offset them and make them easy to put together. So this is a great little quilt if you like to quilt on your own machine. Easy to do. Stitch in the ditch.
Stitch in the ditch, yeah.
It's also a great quilt for doing a grid. If you wanted to do a grid, a nice diamond shaped grid, so you could easily do that yourself. It's also a great quilt. It's because of the simplicity of the blocks. It's a great quilt that if you have it long armed, or if you happen to be one of those quilters who can actually do really neat quilting on your machine, on your home machine, you can do something like feathers or swirls or anything that's more interesting because the blocks are pretty simple. So it lends itself to a more decorative quilting. So anyway,
yeah, and I love, well, in fact, before we get off, we'll talk a little bit about free motion, but I love it when it's a very linear piecing, you know, or pattern. I like more organic, swirly quilting to kind of offset that. So like this. So I love this, by the way. Yeah, we will. We'll mention why both of these are hanging up. But I love this for a quick, just whip it out, right?
Just whip it
no
out.
Problem.
And, like I said, it can be done by Christmas. That's the important part.
You've got time. That's true. And the beauty of this, and I think you might have even already said it, is you can make it as small or as big as you want because it's just repeating.
Exactly. It's just
expanding. Yeah.
Exactly. And, when Amber brought another one, I guess she's done 3 of these. I've quilted one. The first one she sent me was, they were all batiks, but they were very colorful. It was a charm pack with all kinds of different colors in it. And it was just amazing to look at. And I had it spread out on my long arm. and just looking at it thinking, oh my goodness, this is such an exciting quilt. And then she brought this one, which is a lot more peaceful because it's just the blues. I have no idea what the next one's going to look like.
Go
But
Amber.
but she's managed to turn these out pretty quickly, and they're really very lovely.
Yeah, she's talented.
Mhm.
And I love this one. It is peaceful, but it's elegant.
Mhm.
It's very elegant.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
rich. Yeah. Which okay, so real quick before I talk about this, was there a reason you brought?
Just to show
I mean,
that
other
you
than
can-
it's tulip pink, but
yeah, tulip pink layer cakes. No, just to show that you can just cut this up in to make 5-inch
to make the
squares.
squares.
Just the-
So you don't need to buy a 5-inch turn pack. You just buy one 10-inch.
Mhm, exactly,
There you go. And I'm assuming people understand charm packs,
or the 5-inch.
layer cakes, 10.
Hmm. And then just your yardage or your scraps, either one.
Love it. Speaking of colorful and awesome quilts, this is your January
Quilt.
quilt. So almost every Friday, well, for over a year and something, and you've heard us talk about the Joann's Friday quilt group. You basically do a quilt each month, ish. I know some run over, and then there's vacations and things, but the idea is that they start a new quilt project fairly frequently.
Mhm.
And so you're finishing up the Christmas one now,
Mhm.
right? And then in January, this will start. And is it the first Friday?
Mhm.
Awesome.
It's all the Fridays in January. And this is Color Confidence for Quilters. And it's kind of a basic class in getting to understand color. And one of the things that I think is important about understanding color in quilting is understanding what you like. For example, I very rarely like to use colors. If you use a color wheel, the complementary color is directly across on the color wheel. And what I've discovered about me is I don't like that combination ever.
Yeah.
So you know, it's so I know that about me. So I don't look in that area. But so one of the things that you'll start to discover is what do you like in color. And so all of these blocks are made up of a light, medium, and dark. And some of them are made up
I've
of,
noticed that. I love that.
some of them are, and I've used just a variety of different ways of putting the fabrics together. Some of them are monochromatic, so they're all like maybe all blue or all whatever, all one color. Or some of them are complementary colors, or some of them are just in one area of the color wheel. So we'll learn how to use a color wheel or look at a color wheel and actually use that in our quilting. And
I love this. And up close, it's very cool. But when I'm looking at it on the camera, you really see the lines and the actual pattern. This quilt's awesome.
And this is essentially all 4 patches, just different size 4 patches. And it's become honestly one of my favorite things to do right now is I'm loving playing with the 4 patches.
Too cool. So, well, and so that's important because if you look at this from a distance or maybe on your screen, you may go, that looks pretty difficult. I love that you broke it down. A lot of times quilts they're made to look intricate, detailed, but truthfully, the actual process or technique is not as difficult as it seems. I love this. So January, sign up for that. We'll put it up this week. You can sign up for that soon.
And just so you know, I did put this in Miss D's quilt show, and it did win a prize. I was surprised. I didn't think it would.
I'm not surprised at all.
I just thought it was a fun quilt, and I wanted to show it off. But it did win a prize
because it's awesome. Yeah, and I love that you're gonna kind of make it like a color theory because people constantly come in here. Do these look good together? And I'm like, do you like them? Yes. Then sure. The answer. There's no wrong answer. I mean, it's truthfully. Yeah, a color wheel will tell you certain combinations will look better. And it's very useful if that's not your strong suit, like comparing colors. But truthfully, if you like the way it looks, then it works for you.
For those, every now and then, I don't know if you get asked to make a quilt for somebody or you tell somebody you want to make a quilt for them and they say, oh, great. Can you use orange?
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I do? Or
you asked me to use orange or green, and I'm like, oh,
please don't. Or maybe you have a huge basket of scraps and you have no idea how to put them together.
Yeah.
And that's usually a big problem. And that's why those baskets get bigger and bigger, because you've got all those scraps. So this will help you put all that together so you can use those scraps, or you can use colors that you're not familiar with or don't usually use.
Absolutely. I love that. And this, because I know people are going to ask, it's awesome. So this is a class that we are trying to make happen. Most likely it won't be until next year. But so what we've decided to do is gauge the interest level, find out how soon, how large we should make the class. So if you have any interest, well, everybody's going to be interested in this because it's an easy project, but it's really cool. Just reach out to us. I just wanted to share this with you guys. I know that there's some interest in it from the people that have been in the classroom, but we'll reach a broader audience this way. So if you have interest in taking this class, reach out to us. Whether it's phone call, stop in, comment on here would be the easiest way to do it.
I think the biggest thing you're going to learn on this is how to sew these straight lines.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. And she's the person who made this has just done a beautiful job of straight lines, and straight lines are a talent.
Yeah, Bonnie's no joke. She's awesome, super talented.
Mhm.
So I would love to have this class. So show some interest.
Good point, Louise. Louise said Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. Well, absolutely. I don't want to wait that long, but yeah, that's fair. It makes sense. Christmas in July, right? That's what, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months.
Let's get through this one first.
Yeah, no worries. I see a bunch of comments, so I will go back and actually answer if I see anything, but still on vacation. That's awesome, Pat. Thanks for chiming in. We'll save you some. Denise, you have all 3 cutters. So do you use all 3 cutters? Or did you so a lot of people have the crank, and they, not this one, but the normal size, the Go. And they're starting to notice that they don't like this motion for their shoulders. Maybe it's carpal tunnel arthritis.
Right.
Our bodies, we get older, things ache a little more, right? You can, and I don't know if AccuQuilt is still promoting this, but I'll promote it and I'll honor it. So you can trade up. We've actually had a few people do this. So instead of just spending the full $700 whatever dollars for the big electric one, you trade in your crank and you get some. It's the same concept as trading up in sewing machines. So people didn't know that you could do that with AccuQuilt. And I know they ran a promotion, so I don't know if that's year round, but here at Cut Up and Sew, we do what we want, right?
That's right. You do it.
I do what I want.
How we roll here.
Perks of owning the joint, right? We can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited about all the classes, all the gifts. Free motion. That's what I knew I was forgetting something. You had touched on it. So a lot of people ask for free motion classes, and I promise you, we have a bunch of stuff in the works. We've got actual events. We're going to do a free motion. What do we call it? A round table, which you're going to hear more about this, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys know we hear you loud and clear. I love free motion. I don't dare claim to say that I'm good at it, but I'm comfortable sitting down and just playing. I'm not as critical, I think, as some people would be. Like, I don't mind that it's messy and it's imperfect because we're not perfect, but I want to improve. And so I also want more education. So free motion classes coming, and a lot of them. Also applique class. We're trying to figure that out. And there was something else. Well, whatever. We'll figure it. But free motion was the big one. A lot of people ask for it constantly. And ruler work. Thank you. All 3 of those, we hear you. They are coming as soon as humanly possible. People are terrified to free motion.
Well, yeah, because
you just got to do it.
You take your quilt that you've worked so hard on, and to actually take that final step of quilting it. Yeah, you could ruin it.
I don't really recommend going, hey, I finished my quilt, I'm going to set it down, and the first time ever going to start free motion. I would grab some scraps and play a little first, to be honest with you, because it is a little scary.
It is.
If you're used to writing your name, imagine the pencil standing still and you just moving the paper. Like if you're doing it on a domestic. If you're long arm, it's different, but it's totally doable, and it takes a lot of practice. I'll be
Mhm.
honest with you, it does, but that's what we're here for. So
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
always been impressed with Josh and how he has no fear. He's like my kids, just no fear of things like that. And I look at his free motion, and you thought it was imperfect, but I think it looks great.
well, thank you.
And
We're always our own worst critic.
that's right. But
thank you.
But there's a certain amount of bravery I think that goes with that.
It took,
Be brave.
you know what it is for me though? It was years and years of, well, really selling sewing machines and having to demo in front of people.
Mhm.
And it's like, oh, don't mess up, don't, so you just got to go.
Uh-huh.
And then it messes up. What are seam rippers for? You figure it out. So, but I've done that. I wouldn't always like that. I used to be terrified,
Well,
but I take that as a huge compliment. Thank you very much. All right. Well, have an amazing Thanksgiving. Are we forgetting anything? I can't imagine we are. Thank you for the tips and ideas for the last minute, easy to do quilts.
That's right.
Knock it out. We do have some awesome boutiques in. So come and see us on Saturday. Well, come in today. We're
Mhm.
here. Or tomorrow. Not here Wednesday and Thursday. Just remember that. And then Friday, Saturday, we're here. But Saturday is the big whoop whoop. First annual progressive
Yeah,
sale
be
day.
here between 9 and 10.
Support local business. If you can't come in and support us, no hard feelings, but try to support local. There's plenty of other small
Mhm.
businesses that it's important. So, all right. Well, you guys have an amazing week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Too.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too. And that's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, live to create. Sorry,
Be
Tony's looking
brave.
at me. Yeah, your catchphrase.